You're too small.
A man walks into a crowded room. He's small, weighs barely 135 pounds, looks like a strong breeze could knock him over. The crowd doesn't even notice him at first because their eyes are locked on someone else, a 300-pound mountain of pure muscle. This giant, this walking statue of flesh and iron has arms thicker than most people's legs. He's a bodybuilder, the kind of man who makes grown adults feel small just by existing. And right now, he's about to learn the most painful lesson of his entire life. Because that small man standing in the corner, that's Bruce Lee. And in the next 5 seconds, everything this bodybuilder believes about strength, about power, about what it means to be dangerous is about to get destroyed. Picture this, it's the mid-1960s. The world runs on a simple rule, bigger is better. If you're massive, if you can bench press a car, if your biceps look like bowling balls, you win. That's it, that's the rule. Combat sports, same story. The heavyweight champion is God. The smaller guy, he loses. Every single time. No debate, no discussion. Size equals power, period. But there's this one man, this wiry little guy from Hong Kong who looks at that rule and laughs. Bruce Lee isn't just disagreeing with the world. He's about to prove the world is completely wrong. Now, before we get to what happens, you need to understand who Bruce Lee really was. This wasn't some actor pretending to know Kung Fu. This man studied the human body like a scientist. He spent hours, actual hours every single day breaking down the mechanics of a punch. Not just throwing punches randomly, but understanding the physics. Force equals mass times acceleration. That's basic science, right? Everyone focuses on the mass part, get bigger, lift heavier, eat more. Bruce. He mastered the acceleration. While bodybuilders were chugging protein shakes and moving iron for size, Bruce was training his nervous system to fire like a lightning bolt. He wanted his body to function like a whip, not a battering ram. Speed over size, precision over brute force. So the bodybuilder steps forward. The visual is almost funny. On one side, you've got this monument to muscle, a man who probably eats 5,000 calories a day just to maintain that physique. On the other side, Bruce Lee, looking like a precision tool wrapped in skin. The giant is smiling, that confident, smug smile of someone who has never lost to anyone smaller. He looks at Bruce, and the skepticism in his eyes is thick enough to cut with a knife. The crowd senses it too. Some are waiting to see Bruce get embarrassed. Others are hopping for something impossible. And Bruce doesn't say much because he knows words don't matter here. The body will do the talking. He asks the bodybuilder a simple question. Stand firm, brace yourself, get ready for one strike, just one. The bodybuilder almost laughs. One strike from this little man. He plants his feet, tenses every muscle in his massive core, and prepares to absorb whatever's coming. In his mind, it's already over. There's no way this skinny martial artist can move 300 pounds of solid mass. Physics doesn't work that way, except it does, and he's about to find out exactly how. Bruce settles into his stance. His lead foot anchors to the floor. His knees bend slightly. There's a direct line of energy now running from the ground through his hips into his shoulder. This is the setup for the 1-inch punch, a technique that sounds ridiculous until you see it. Think about it. A normal punch needs wind up, right? You pull your arm back, you swing, you build momentum. That's what everyone thinks. But Bruce spent years stripping away all that wasted motion, all that telegraphing. All that unnecessary movement that gives your opponent time to react. He places his knuckles exactly 1 inch away from the bodybuilder's chest. 1 inch. His fingers are relaxed. His breathing is deep and controlled. The bodybuilder looks down at that small fist hovering near his chest and probably thinks this is the easiest challenge of his life. Then it happens, less than half a second. Bruce Lee's entire body transforms into a biological weapon. The movement doesn't start in his arm, it starts in his feet. His hips snap with such violent speed that the energy shoots upward like a shockwave traveling through his spine. His arm extends, and at the final millisecond, his wrist flicks, concentrating his entire body weight into a single point. There's no push, there's no shove. It's an explosion, pure kinetic transfer. The sound that rips through that room isn't a thud. It's a crack, sharp, terrifying, like a whip breaking the sound barrier. And the 300-pound bodybuilder, the man who believed he was unmovable, launches backward, not stumbles, not sways, launches. His feet leave the ground. His massive frame flies through the air like he's been hit by a car. He crashes into a chair several feet behind him with a sound that makes everyone in the room flinch. Silence, complete, absolute silence. Hundreds of people just watched the impossible happen right in front of their eyes. The bodybuilder sits on the floor, wind completely knocked out of him, staring at nothing. His face is pure shock. His brain is trying to process what just happened and failing. In 5 seconds, everything he believed about strength just shattered. The man who was too small just proved that size means nothing if it can't move. That speed, real speed, channeled correctly, creates a force that mass alone cannot defend against. This wasn't a movie trick. This wasn't camera angles or wires. This was science. Raw, brutal science. Bruce understood something that almost no one else did at the time. A heavy object at rest is easy to topple if you hit it with enough velocity at the right point. He struck the bodybuilder's chest with such concentrated speed that he sent a vibration through the man's entire skeletal structure. The muscles couldn't compensate. The mass became a liability. It was physics masquerading as a martial arts demonstration, and the world was watching. This moment exploded through the martial arts community like wildfire. It wasn't just about one man falling down, it was about the death of old thinking. For this, traditional martial arts were locked in rigid stances and rehearsed patterns that never accounted for real physicality. Bruce was screaming to anyone who would listen that the classical approach was over. Dead. Finished. World-class athletes and fighters started paying attention. This small man from Hong Kong had a secret they were all missing. He trained like a madman, electrical muscle stimulation, specialized weight circuits, diet treated purely as fuel for performance. He was a scientist experimenting on himself, and the bodybuilder he sent flying was just the first major proof of concept. The legacy of that 5-second encounter lives in every fight today. When you see a lightweight fighter knock out someone twice his size with a perfectly timed counter, that's Bruce Lee's philosophy. When you see a jiu-jitsu practitioner use leverage to submit a giant, that's Bruce Lee's philosophy. He taught the world that the human spirit and mind can overcome physical limitations if you're willing to strip away everything unnecessary. He didn't want to master a style. He wanted to master movement itself. The bodybuilder left that day with a bruised chest and a destroyed ego, but the world left with a new understanding of power. When you watch the grainy footage, when you read the eyewitness accounts, the lesson stays the same. True power isn't found in gym mirrors or numbers on a scale. It's in the relentless pursuit of perfection, in refining the smallest details, in having the courage to stand before a giant and refuse to be intimidated. Bruce Lee was small in stature but moved with the weight of a mountain. He proved that the most important inch in any fight is the one between your mind and your target. In a world that measures worth by size and volume, let the image of that 300-pound man flying backward be a reminder. The size of the man in the fight matters far less than the size of the fight in the man. Bruce Lee is gone, but the shockwaves from that 1-inch punch are still vibrating through the world today, challenging every single one of us to be faster, sharper, more explosive than yesterday. So ask yourself, are you building mass or are you building speed? Are you becoming a statue or are you becoming a weapon? The choice has always been yours. Now go make it count.